If you've had to buy a new mattress recently, you may have noticed the problem that I discovered. The new mattresses are built extremely thick. If you plan on using this mattress on your existing bed, this can create quite a problem. Where the old mattress gave you a headboard you could place your pillows against while you were sleeping, the new mattress used up all that headboard room. So, now while you're trying to sleep, your pillows keep sliding into this cubbyhole. The fix for this is relatively simple, but will require some serious lumber. Thick, heavy lumber can cost quite a bit of money. That is, unless you make your own lumber. Let's take a look at how we can do that. Use an excavator to throw a log onto your portable sawmill, crank it up, and cut yourself a couple of planks. You'll want to put a whole bunch of weight on top of those planks and season them for about a year. Make sure you put wood stickers in between each of the boards. You want airflow completely around each board. When it came time to use them, there was a wee bit of warping, but thanks to the weight there was no twisting. 2 of these planks are very usable, but this plank here, which was the one on top and exposed to the weather, took on quite a bit of bow. In this project we'll be cutting that board into shorter planks, and boards this short that bow won't even be noticeable. Okay, let's get started. First thing we need to do is cut these planks down to a usable size. In our case, slightly longer than the headboard. Now we need to make one end flat and level. This machine is called a jointer. It's got a spinning blade on it. It will shave just a little bit off the edge of the board. The more times you run the board across the flat joiner surface, the more wood it takes off. And eventually you'll have a long, flat, smooth edge. Now that we have a nice edge, we have to deal with this surface here. This is definitely not furniture quality yet, but we can fix that. The tool for that job is called a planer. This time, the sharp cutting blades are much longer. Just like on the jointer, we're going to make a series of passes. Each time, we'll take a little more wood off. After the first pass, this is what we have. These ridges are from our sawmill blade, and this smooth area is where our planer took out those ridges. We want to run all of our boards on both sides through the planer. We also want to run them through the same number of times so the boards are exactly the same thickness. In case you're wondering why we only made one nice side with the jointer, it's because we're going to use the table saw for the other side. Place the finished side of the board against your fence. Run the board across your table saw, and that'll cut off the unfinished side of the board. Don't throw away the part that you just cut off. We're going to need that later. After cutting both planks on the table saw, you can see that they turned out very nicely. Sure look different than when we started. We actually need a board that's 15 inches wide. So, to attach these 2 boards together, we're going to use wood biscuits. The biscuits will fit into special slots that will cut into the edges of both of the boards. Not only will it provide a mechanical attachment, but when the biscuits are exposed to glue, they swell up, and this causes the biscuit to act like a little clamp inside of the board. First thing we do is draw a line on both boards wherever we want a biscuit. Pull the boards apart, and use a special biscuit jointer to cut the slots at each of the line locations. Cut the exact same slots in the second board. Install your biscuits, and do a fit check before you start slinging glue. Cutting the slots for the biscuits is really easy to mess up on. Okay, they fit. Let's glue everything and put them back together. Apply clamps to both the top and the bottom to ensure the boards are flat as the glue dries. Remember that piece we cut off on the table saw and I said don't throw it away? You'll want to mark them and cut them so that we can use them as caps on the ends of the board. This will give it a nice finished look. We're going to use the same biscuit joiner and glue that we did on the main boards. For those of you that remember, I said I cut the boards a little longer than I needed them. Before you put these caps on is when you'll need to cut that board down to the correct size so the overall project will wind up being exactly where you want it. On the bottom of the board, the side that's going to be laying on the carpet, I want to put a nice round over on the sharp edge to keep it from doing any damage to that carpet. The tool for this job is your trusty router. Once you know exactly how wide your board is going to be, you'll want to cut out a whole bunch of pieces whose length is exactly the width of that main board. The main board is going to be the base of your headboard riser, and however many of the smaller boards you cut out is going to determine how much higher you want your headboard to be. Cut out more boards to make the headboard higher. Once all your wood is cut, you can start staining. You want it to look good. Hang in there, we're almost done. So you can see here the original headboard just rested on the carpet. It's time to install our riser. Move the headboard out of the way. Let your trusty pooch in there to do a lot of sniffing and give you the A-OK to install the riser. Slide the riser into place once you get the dog out of there. I went ahead and installed a whole bunch of weights that I no longer use to stabilize the headboard when I reinstall it. Set your headboard on top of the riser and use 90-degree brackets to attach it on the inside where you can't see it. And don't forget to reattach the brackets that hold the headboard to the bed frame. Finally, depending on the configuration of your headboard, you may need to do a little detail woodworking. Small things like filling in this new gap with a decorative wood block. That's about it. As a final word, remember when I said 99% of your project's not going to be seen? Well, this piece of wood right here is the only thing that's different about this headboard as far as visibility goes. However, your headboard is now usable again. And since you made your own lumber, this project didn't cost an arm and a leg. Thanks for watching.